Tell me something that was a staple in your house, like a black household, if you could think of anything.
Oh, I know. Well, for me, growing up back home in Michigan, people frown on this, but what was a staple growing up back home was food, and in reference, it was like concerning chitlins. My grandmother, she like I never had to worry about cleaning them. I watched her clean them a little bit, but she didn't never like get them to where you had to like clean them and get all the caca and all that stuff out. But she would get it to where it was she still had to do some extra clean just to be on the safe side. So that was always a staple thing until she got a little bit older. So that was always a big thing. And it was usually around between it was between either like Easter, Thanksgiving, or Christmas. One of those three holidays, it was always there. Chitlins was always there. And between my mom and my grandmother, they made the best chitlins. They don't do it anymore though. But that was growing up. That was a staple thing was eating that. Cause boy, that was some cornbread with some collard greens. Man, you can't look, man. That was the life. So that was always like a real cool thing for me, man. Yeah,
You like chitlins?
yeah. I actually do. I don't eat them anymore because of health reasons, not just like religious reasons, but also because of health reasons as well. Like it's really not healthy for us, so to speak, especially with us black people, because we be it's almost as if like we eat anything and then be wondering what's wrong with our health. And it's like, well, bro, you're eating slave food. That's why. So, but no, I do. I don't eat it anymore though. I think the last time I ate it was maybe like 10 years ago, and I ate somebody else's chitlins. Never again. It wasn't my mom's or my grandmother's. It was somebody else. I was living in a different state, and I was like, nah, this don't even taste like it don't taste like they were cleaned all the way. I was like, nah. So I think at that point I stopped eating chitlins, man. But yeah, man, I used to do boy, you can tell me nothing. Hot sauce, man.
But like, so I grew up with. I didn't grow up with nobody making chitlins. It wasn't until I met my girlfriend that I actually
Okay,
had chitlins. Um, like I think I
really?
had it once, like a little sliver of it, right? Because you know how adults do, like, yo,
Mm.
take a little piece of this, see if you like it or not. And obviously, as a
You
kid, I'm
like
like,
it, right, right, right,
as a kid, I'm like, yo, no, no, just give me my turkey, give me my mac and cheese. I don't want none of this.
right.
Um, but my grandmother, my girlfriend's mom made it. I want to say maybe about like 5 6 years ago on a Christmas, like a Christmas
Wow.
dinner, and I was
Hmm.
starving that day. I didn't eat anything, and I saw the chitlins there, and I'm just like, yo, put them on the plate. I don't care. I don't care, bro. Like everything, the corn, but like everything that I normally would not have eaten because not because it's nasty, but it's just like it's just not my forte. I was
Yeah.
like, yo, put it on the plate. I don't care.
Right.
And she put them chitlins on the plate, and she's like, "You sure about this?" I'm like, "Yo, I want it. Just give me some hot sauce." And I ate it with some hot sauce, bruh. I was like, "I don't see what the big
Yeah.
deal is. Like, I don't see how people hating on it. Like, I mean, like, it's not the best tasting thing in the
It's
world."
it's usually because of the smell. It's usually because of the smell though.
Oh no,
Like,
yes, the
because their
smell,
intestines,
right?
if you can get past the smell, you're straight. It's one you know what's weird though? You would think I'd be able to eat anything. So, my wife and I, we would go to this, I know people gonna frown on me about this, I understand it, but as far as I know, we don't make it. If we made it, we would go. But, we would go to, like, a Thai restaurant, right?
Mm.
And we would, uh so I get, like, the fried rice or whatever, but there was this sauce called it's like a fish sauce. And I'm like, "Yo, get this away from me. This smells horrible." Like, I hate the smell of fish sauce. It's gross to me, but it's like, "But bro, you grew up eating chitlins and smelling chitlins and was still eating them." I was like, "Yeah, this is what I'm thinking to myself. Yeah, but I can't do that." You know what I'm saying? I can't. It's almost hypocritical in reference to like chitlins and fish sauce. It's like, yo, this is nasty. Like I didn't even like it smelled so bad. I didn't even want to taste the fish sauce. She's like, "Won't you get past this?" Nah, I don't want. I don't want to hear about. You know what I'm saying? But it sounds hypocritical
Right.
in reference to chitlins, but that's how it was. It was like I knew it was good. When I saw like family members like killing it, I was like, oh no, this gotta be good. I smelled it. I was like, why does it smell like that? They told me why. I was like, oh, okay. But it's like, but you know what I'm saying? I will watch my grandmother or my mom or like sometimes my cousins will be there, like my female cousins will be there and help clean the chitlins. So I knew they were clean. They just, smelled
Yeah.
like that. So yeah, man.
It's interesting you brought up.
So
Go ahead.
no. You got it. You got it.
No, like it's interesting that you brought up your grandma. 'Cause, like I remember growing up, my grandmom had like uh uh not a shelf, like a it was like a dresser, but it wasn't like a dresser. I could I don't know, man. It was like
Mm,
a dish dresser or something, right?
a distress. Okay.
Bro, I don't know, man. Like it was like
Like a cabinet.
it looked like a cabinet, but it was like in the shape and form of a dresser, bro. Like it was weird. But I only seen her open it
Huh.
maybe like 2 or 3 times, and it was hard to open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you had to like shimmy or jimmy or
Yep.
like push a certain way. Like it was like a I don't know, like a
Yep.
hidden bookcase shelf, like a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like a Batman or something. You got to pull the lever or something,
Yeah.
like a book or something. They open, but like it
Not bad, man.
it
Yeah.
it like it held like a bunch of fine china, and
Yeah. Yeah.
my grandma didn't let nobody, and I mean nobody, touch her china. It was once every blue
Yeah.
moon that she would bring something out. And even then, it was more
Yeah.
for decoration than it was for you actually eating. You know what I mean? And I was just like,
Right.
and me
Yep.
growing up,
Yep.
I'm thinking like, yo, because like as a kid, I was like, yo, I'm not gonna break nothing. You know what I mean? But as you get older and you see
Mhm.
kids just drop stuff like, you know what I'm saying? Not even trying to drop it, just drop it.
Exactly.
And I'm like, oh yeah, I would have broke
They
a
just
China.
breathe. They
Yeah, just
breathe. They
breathe.
breathe past it and then fall. What'd you do? I ain't do anything. I was just walking past it. You did something like, no, I really didn't. Like we're magnets to the
Exactly,
China.
bro. Exactly, bro. So like and I'm thinking in my head, like, yo, when I get to be an adult, when I get to be older, like I'm gonna be able to, partake in having like a glass plate and glass china and everything. I got older, no, still the same
Yeah.
rules, bro. Still the same rules, bro. Still the same rules, man.
Hey, you know what's funny, Doug? My father-in-law got us some nice dishes for our wedding. And my wife was like, "Oh, what we gonna do with this?" I was like, "Oh, this is like the fine china." We looked at it, we was like, "Oh, this is like the fine china." Like we joked about it. It was like, "Yeah, we're gonna only use this." We chose, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna only use this for special occasion. We ain't touched that china yet. We ain't touched the dishes yet, but we didn't put it in some special cabinet. We just put it in the cabinet because we got a baby on the way. So it's like when she gets older, make sure she stays away from it. But
Yeah.
we ain't touching this. We've been married for about like what 8? Yeah, I think yeah, about like 8 months, maybe 9. I think it's 9. Yeah, because we got married last year in September, so close to like 8 or 9 months. We ain't touch it yet. We ain't grab it to put food on it. Nothing. It's just sitting there up in one of the other cabinets, man. But yeah, bro, what's funny? It's funny that you mentioned that because my grandma had that, but I don't think we ever touched it. Like it was just there. Like, I don't know what happened now, you know what I'm saying? Because she's in her 80s now. Like, you know what I'm saying? My cousins and other family members live there, so I don't know what they're doing at that house now. But as a kid growing up, like, it was just there. It was almost like a museum. It was just there, and I
Yeah.
would just look at it, and it was, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man. And I saw pictures. It was like pictures in there too. Like, it was really weird. So it was almost like a museum for us. With my mom, she has something similar to it. I don't know if she moved it, but I can see it like vividly still. I will walk in the house, walk past the living room, walk into the little miniature dining room. Oh yeah, and just like kind of like fun fact, the house that I grew up in is the same house that my great grandmother had. Like they got it built, and it's a really really small house, Vash, like itty bitty house. So my great grandmother lived there. My great uncle lived there. My favorite uncle, I don't know if anybody's going to listen to this podcast, but my favorite uncle lived there, and then they passed it on to my mom, right? But and she would have this thing. I remember when they brought it in the house. I remember that clear as day because it wasn't always there. But we used to have something different. It was similar to the China, like the little China cabinet thing. But mom got rid of that. I don't know what she did with it. It got something brand new and got new dishes. And I think it was one time, maybe I was like 10 or 12. We brought the dishes out, ate, put them back up. I don't remember ever taking those dishes out again. Like I don't remember it. I don't remember it. So, but yeah, man, it's almost as I don't know why we do that, but it's almost as if it's some sort of museum. I wonder if they had stuff like that during slavery, where they had certain dishes that just couldn't get touched because the slave owner was like, "Don't touch these unless there's for special occasions, or unless that was just a custom that we had." And it was like, we can't speak our language. We per se can't do our dances like they do in, you know what I'm saying, Central America and the Caribbean, but we got certain customs that we're gonna hold on. So I don't know. I don't know where it came from, bro. No clue, man. So, but
Yeah, no, it's
yeah, yeah,
amazing.
yeah,
It's always amazing how you could talk to like other black people and then like you talk about your childhood and like even regardless of
yep,
what kind of upbringing that you had, there's still things
yeah.
that all of us collectively went through and everything. And it's like it's amazing.
Exactly.
It's amazing, bro. It's amazing.
Exactly. You know what? You know what's funny? I'm not. Oh, I don't want to. I'm not. I'm gonna try to go here real quick and then go back to keeping it light. So, there's this. Well, I'm a Spanish speaker, so there's this thing called mejorando la raza, right? So it means bettering the race. It's the reason why I'm saying it because you said, "Oh, we had a similar childhood." Once we realized it, like we'll talk about it, and what happened was there's this thing. It's called bettering the race, but it's in reference to black people um, who are Spanish speakers or whatever, and they're looking at the slave owners or whatever and saying, "Man, they got a better life." Okay, slavery's done. Man, they got a better life. Okay, I think I would like my child to get with somebody that's not black just to ensure that they'll have a better life than what we have right now, right? And that's what they call it, in Central South America and the Caribbean island, mejorando la raza. And I was talking in this group that I'm in on IG, and I said, one guy was like, "Yeah, they're doing that now here in the States." I was like, "Nah, bro, I remember that when I was a kid." You know what I'm saying? Like, you think about the discussions we would hear about somebody light skinned, dark skinned, or just getting with a white person. Like comedians, African American comedians will talk about it, and and it was some people shunned it, some people celebrated it, but it was always a thing. The difference is that we per se didn't give it a term. We never had a phrase. We just said different things. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That equated to get with somebody that's not black in order to ensure your not really physical survival, because we're gonna always thrive, but your social and economic survival. You know what I'm saying? Physically speaking, we're gonna always be there. So I would hear people talking. I was like, we talk like that too. We just didn't have a phrase for that. And there was different. There were different instances where, like, if it wasn't food, it was certain things that would transpire within those families. And I was like, oh, we did the same thing. Like I had a Puerto Rican ex. Well, I have a Puerto Rican ex girlfriend. She's not Afro Latina. This particular one isn't. So, but she said, "Oh man, one of our staples is red beans and rice." I'm like, "Bro, we eat that too. Like, what are you saying? Why are you making it seem like we don't eat that? We eat black eye peas. We eat
Yeah.
lima beans. We eat pinto beans. We eat red beans and rice. I grew up eating that stuff." And you know what I'm saying? Other stuff that they had, we didn't have. But you know what I'm saying? We had similarities. I was like, bro, we ate the same thing. I don't know what you talking about. Like we just out here just everything's fried food. Like, no, nah. But I'm glad that you said that because that's a real thing. I think even amongst us, just in reference to just AAs or African Americans or Black Americans, it's like once when we realize how many similarities we got, we would look at each other differently. You know what I'm saying? We can say, "Oh, you talk like you're a white person." Like, okay, and your point is what? But I bet you behind closed doors, we still have certain customs that that we still do. So I don't
Mhm.
care how you talk. You can talk like you're from the East Coast. You can talk like you're from the Midwest, the South, the Pacific, whatever. But I'm pretty sure there's some staples in your house that are similar all across the board. And majority of us probably have never met each other. You know what I'm saying? Like you and I, we don't know each other, right? Like we didn't actually know each other outside of, you know what I'm saying, prior to Clubhouse. Didn't even know each other existed,
Right.
but had a similar upbringing. It's like that in itself is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing, man. My bad, bro. I was going on a tangent, man. But
No, bro, you good, man. Listen, welcome to another episode of Reset the Vibe. I am one of your hosts, Vash. Darius could not be here today, but my good brother Jarard here came in and held us down. So I just want to give the floor to you, bro. Go ahead and introduce yourself, bro. Tell us a little about yourself.
okay. Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all? This your man Jarard Kenneth. As Vash said, I'm a guest here. I already feel at home, so I'm really excited about it. I checked out a few of their episodes, and I was like, okay, they're talking about some good stuff. I'm actually a creator of my podcast. That's supposed to be different podcasts, and I'm a co-host with and a Hoshi podcast. It's a podcast dealing with blurred life, talking about Japanese anime, fun stuff like that. Let's see what else. Real quick, I mentioned that I'm a husband. I'm a soon-to-be father. I can say I'm a father. Let's
Uh,
see. I'm a believer. I'm a singer. I'm a songwriter. I do make music. Uh, I love culture. I love culture in general, black culture, primarily like black culture, Afro Latino culture, Latino culture. Obviously, Japanese culture because I watch anime, so I like little things about their culture. But um, I'm I it's cool, man. I just like I'm me, and I'm happy that I get to be me. You know what I mean? So that's it in a nutshell, man.
that's true, bro. Uh, man, you forgot to add that you a good dude on top of all of that. You know what I'm saying? You a good dude, bro. Like man, listen, like
Ah,
I,
man, yeah,
bro, like I've been in rooms like you said, like we met on Clubhouse. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And just hearing you talk about some things, bro, bro,
yeah.
you deep, man. You deep. You know what I mean? Like and
I
you,
try not to be, but
no, bro, it's
it's like
like you
you
said,
set it up, it's alley oop, bro.
yeah, but like you said, like that's you though. You know what I mean? Like it's you in a
Yeah,
nutshell,
yeah,
and that's cool, bro. Because like that's it's important in the world of a lot of people trying to be everything else but themselves. That you know what I'm
exactly.
saying? You can call yourself like, yo, I'm me. I know who I am. I'm not nobody else. Period. Um,
Right,
and we
right.
thank you for coming on, bro. We appreciate this.
I no, I appreciate the invite, man. I really do. This is cool. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool, man.
Or so today, normally we'd have like a bunch of different topics and everything, but one thing that I really wanted to hit on while it's here and while it's fresh, Juneteenth. Juneteenth just
Yes, sir.
became uh was it national federal holiday? Same thing.
Federal holiday.
Federal.
National, federal. Tomato,
It,
tomato.
pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, yeah.
It became a holiday. I have thoughts on it, but I want to ask you first. So, what are your thoughts on it becoming a national holiday?
Vash, we might have similar thoughts, truth be told, bro. Well, you know what? To on one side, actually, I don't have a bad side of this per se. Yeah, I'll say it like that. I do have a bad side, but on one side, it's like, oh, okay, cool. That's it. That's all. You know, that's just overall. Before we start going in and peeling the onion back
Right.
from the first glimpse, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Because in my mind, this is now we're getting to the point we're gonna start peeling the onion. So I'm gonna just crack the little skin of the onion real quick, and
Hmm.
then throw that piece away, right? But just cracking the surface of the onion. Okay, cool. So we're gonna celebrate a national holiday about people being lied to about being slaves. Now we gotta remember. This is me still peeling the onion, cracking the onion a little bit. But you got to remember that during that time, they were told you were going to get 40 acres and a mule after slavery. So this is 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation. So you, one, they, you know what I'm saying, people in Galveston, Texas, they said, nah, bro, we ain't telling these niggas nothing. We're going to keep them as slaves, right? Two, we ain't giving these niggas nothing. We're going to keep them as slaves. And then you got the cavalry, right? The U.S. military, one of their officers had to come into the town or in the area within Texas and say, yo, we need to tell y'all free and you going to set them free. Right, and that's why we're celebrating it for. But it's almost like a twofold thing. Because remember, now we're going to get into the onion part. So I'm going to try to avoid that real quick because I don't know what you're going to say. But it's on the cliff of saying, okay, if you're celebrating this, then you have to acknowledge reparations for us, and not just in Texas and not just in the South. That's actually all across the board. You have to, if you're celebrating this particular thing and you know the reasoning behind it, then you have to acknowledge reparations and you have to do something about it. This has to be fixed. You have to correct it. Right? That's how I see it. That's how, so initially it's like my mindset is okay, cool. Here's why I think it's cool. Because the story behind it. And it's gonna lead into reparations. I don't care what nobody say. I get it. It's symbolic. That's what's been happening with us. I'm so sick of that mess. I get it. I understand. Right? I get it. But my thing is, oh, okay. So this means that you guys are gonna actually really, 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 really actually do something, not just talk about it for 50, 60 years. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna actually do something about it if you're celebrating a holiday about something that happened. This is like the first real, I mean, if you really think about outside of like Black History Month, this is the first real history of them saying, hey, something bad happened and it got fixed. And we're gonna celebrate the fact that it got fixed and quote unquote corrected. I say that because some of our own people feel some type of way if we were to say that. You know what I'm saying? And I understand because there's so many things that haven't got corrected yet, right? Police brutality, police murders, you know what I'm saying, systemic racism with, you know what I'm saying, within the country. Like, and I concur with all that. All these things haven't happened yet. But up to that point, they quote unquote did two things right, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? These things are even questionable. The Emancipation Proclamation, which is still in question because it's like, are we actually free or not? Right?
Right.
In reference to Marcus Garvey and trying to get us out the country, and they was like, "Nah, we ain't letting y'all niggas go nowhere." It's like, but I thought we was free, bro. Thought we was free, right? So we got that, but the Emancipation Proclamation, that was one thing that was done right. We got you know what I'm saying, certain white people, Quakers, whoever did the abolishment of slavery or was fighting against slavery. Hey, we really do need to free these people. So, but they did that one thing right. I wouldn't. This is a stretch. I wouldn't even say um it's leaving me now. But affirmative action, I'm kind of like in the air about that because being an adult and doing more research on it, it's like it's supposed to be for us, but other people are benefiting more from it than us. So I kind of skip past that, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay. So, but at least the Emancipation Proclamation, they did something right. And then it's like, oh, okay, let's celebrate this. It was like the closest. I wouldn't even consider them saying celebrating Martin Luther King Day is doing something right. That ain't doing something right. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I mean, y'all killed the dude, and it's almost like y'all celebrating the fact that he's dead. Like nothing good came per se within the Black community. Nothing good came from his death. If you really think about it, they knew what they were doing. Nothing good came from his death. So in that action of them saying, if we're going to make this a federal holiday, nothing good came of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh, you get a day off of work. But in this case, this is going to actually Now, and that's what. Let me backtrack here because some people, and I get it. They were like, "No, some good things came out of it. Dialogue, okay, cute dialogue, got it." But you know what I'm saying? It didn't. It didn't. It didn't. It's not. It didn't raise the question for reparations. His death didn't.
Right.
It didn't. It didn't raise the question for reparations. But in reference to Juneteenth, this is like a red flag. This is the elephant's tail on an elephant that's in the room. You get what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
So that's why I'm like, so that's what initially I'm like, oh, okay, you guys are gonna celebrate that? I ain't mad. Cause now we gotta look at the rest of this elephant in this room. You feel me? So yeah, man, that's my thoughts on it, bro.
No, when I first heard it, because it wasn't even on my radar, right? It wasn't until I was on Twitter that they was talking
Mhm.
about it, and they was tweeting like, "Oh, it went from the House, it passed, this bill passed, we're going to make it a holiday," and I'm just looking like, "This is what we were doing." When was, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't, and maybe that's on me,
Right behind closed doors, what were we doing?
right? You know
Yeah,
what I'm
no,
saying?
no,
Like,
no. I feel you. That makes sense. It's like,
because I'm saying like,
yeah,
because
it's like that's what y'all were doing.
like we know about the COVID stuff. We know about the stimulus checks. We know about all this good and horrible things going on with gun laws and everything else in between. But a holiday that
Yeah.
I would benefit from, me being black, why am I just now knowing about this? You know what I mean?
Huh.
But
Yeah.
it's like when they said it, I was like, oh, that's cool. This is
Yeah. Yeah.
progress or whatnot. Like it opens dialogue, etc. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then like how you said, like
Mhm.
now we have to look at everything. Like you said, like we have to acknowledge
Mhm.
reparations. And
Right.
then I also saw, I think it was on Instagram, I saw it because I read something about it like maybe like last week, but it wasn't anything that like I
Mhm.
delved in to find more information about. But, and let me get the correct terminology because this is important. Critical race theory.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
cr-
Yeah.
Critical race theory. So some states passed this law or bill, whatever you want to call it. Basically, is saying that things that happened in American history, as far as what America is responsible for, as far as slavery, like all of these horrible things, right, that happened in the past. Basically, America, well, in those states, they're like, no, we don't want to teach that. We want people to be ignorant of those things, the kids to be ignorant of those things. You know what I'm saying? So if they want to find out about these things, then they have to make the choice to find out about these things. It's not anything that they're going to be taught and raised for a plethora of reasons. And I
Right.
looked at it and like people were like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want my child to know, these ugly, horrible things that happen. And I'm just looking like, I mean, I grew up and I had to learn about these
Right.
horrible things. I'm not even talking about slavery stuff. I'm just
Exactly.
talking
And
about
it,
like
and it wasn't even a half.
it wasn't even a half, bro. Like we
Yeah.
got maybe like a quarter, if that, of all the information
If that.
that happened in America just through school. So now we're gonna cut that quarter completely off and make it look like America is this great place all the while. Like from its inception all the way into now, we've been perfect. Like, yeah, we've had our bumps and you know what I'm saying, our ups and downs of
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
leadership, you know what I'm saying, of gun violence and blah 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 blah. But overall, we're a great country. And it's like, nah. You know what I mean?
Nah.
Because like like I never agreed with um white parents being like, oh, my child, I don't want my child exposed to these sorts of things for them to know this. And I'm just
But you're
looking like,
teaching your child. You're gonna teach your child something jacked up about black people anyway.
exactly. And it's
You
not
know
even
what I'm
just
saying?
it's not even just that. It's just the fact that like, okay, so your child is spared from this, but my child has to live through this, through these
Right.
things every single
Right.
day. And my child knows what's up, but your child doesn't know what's up. So now we get to this point where if the child is not forced or led to do thinking on their own, to go outside of the means of what, the education system provides, they're going to be ignorant of this.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And then
Exactly.
we get more
Yeah.
bigots, we get more racists and everything else in between. because
It's
they were never.
intentional.
It is. It's mad intentional, and
Yeah,
it's just like you're
yeah,
creating this cycle. Like you're trying to help the cycle go along, and we're trying to not we, but as you know, as America and whatnot, it's
yeah.
like we're trying to erase the fact that anything bad ever like happens. You know what I mean? Like erasing history. I'm like, history may be ugly, but we can learn from history. We don't have to repeat what
Word.
our ancestors did. You know what I'm saying? Just because
So,
you're
but here's the thing.
what?
I was gonna interject. I'm sorry. Here's the thing, though, and it's a question. And you're right. I concur with you. You know what I'm saying? You're doing it repeated if you don't learn from it. But now, this is a weird question. Do they do they actually want the history to be repeated? That's the scary part.
It's a possibility. I mean,
Think
like
about it. I mean,
I
think about it. Make America great again. When was America great? You
it
see,
never.
you know what I'm saying? Those types of it never. At least not for us. It never was. But
Yeah.
they're saying to do it. It's like so. It's like we need to learn so now we can better protect ourselves. Snap. Physically speaking, mentally speaking, financially speaking, educationally speaking, we need to do that. Otherwise, we're gonna be sitting there drinking the juice just like they are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, it's scary. Like they may want to try to figure out a way to try to re-enslave us. It's like, so it would make sense to not teach it in school to go back and insinuate it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not gonna teach them, especially if all these kids are going to the same type of schools. Because on one perspective, it's like, oh, let's just create harmony, which is not what's going on. We want to create this utopia, which is not really the truth. When behind closed doors, your parents are still saying certain things about a different party. You know what I'm saying? Or lying to you or whatever. So my bad. I just wanted to interject on that part. That's just like
Oh,
maybe they do want the past. Not us, but maybe they do want. Maybe they actually want the past to be repeated. It's like that's scary. That's
no,
just a thought. And it's like, geez, man.
no, that makes sense. Like when you propose that question, like I think about it, it's just like maybe that is what they want to do. Maybe they want history to repeat itself in some type of form or fashion, and it's just like, how well did that end up for it in the grand scheme of things? Like, so
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like it. Yeah, you got yo slavery, you got yo. You know what I'm saying? You done all of this wickedness, all of this evil things, but that lasted up until a certain point.
Right.
It lasts up to a certain point. You're like,
Mhm.
we don't have as much power as we did before, and little
Yeah.
by little, that power is being diminished that they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
because like you asked that question, I pose this question to you. Like, if
Okay.
the if the slave owners, slave ship drivers, whatever you want to call them, white people, if they knew ahead of time what was going to happen, do you think they would have left us in Africa and not even bothered with this?
You wanna go that route, bro? Are you sure you
Bro,
wanna go that route?
bro, we
Cause
here.
bro, I'm ready.
We here, bro.
Okay. Um, there's this nice. I'll put it like this. There's this nice little book, and this particular book has played a part in modern warfare. People have used this book to manipulate other different peoples. But truth be told, that particular book is our history book, right? That particular book is our history book. That particular book gives us for like I can't make this up. I'm not trying to sound poetic like you. You know what I'm saying? You wax poetically, bro. No, but this particular book is not only our history book, it's not only a lesson book, but it's a book that gives us foresight and it's always been there. Now here's the thing. Those white people, not like your regular schmegular white people, regular white people, they don't know too much about this. Once they do, either two things are gonna happen. They're gonna combat it or they're gonna tell other people about it. That's what white people do. they're gonna either do two different things. They're gonna either combat it or actually say, "Oh snap, this makes sense. Let me tell other people." You know what I'm saying? You got those type of people. So, but then you got those people. When I say combat it, they're gonna try to hide it, not talk about it, dismiss it, all those different things. So, truth be told, Vash, truth be told, um, in my humble opinion, your question is if they knew uh, prior to now what was going to happen, would they still do it? Would they leave us there? Them niggas don't care. That's my answer. They don't care because if you think about like when we watch anime, I'm gonna put it like this: like remember watching Reborn, like Hitman Reborn? They knew the end, quote unquote, the end in the beginning, and it's like, what can we do to stop it? And there was all these different avenues to try to stop it. White people in general think like that, and I get it. You want to own the world, rule the world, do it like this, and you don't want nothing to stop you. So if you're reading from something that's saying, "Hey, you're going to get stopped at this particular moment in time, and you're gonna have to pay back everything that you did to these people," you're gonna be combative, and then you're gonna be like, "What can I do to avoid that from happening? I'm gonna do everything else except do right." I'm gonna do everything else except do right. There's this so that's really my answer. They don't care. They know they don't care. And they're gonna do everything that they can to avoid their expected end to not transpire. There's a particular, I would say it's a body of work within this particular book where it talks to a particular nation, and this nation actually still exists, right? Starts with an E. Well, they call it Edom. I say Edom. So it's Edom, which came from Rome. And then if you understand what Rome is, just in historical, you know what I'm saying, as far as like history tells us, Rome conquered the known world at that point in time. So that's primarily all of Europe and some of Asia. So that makes sense. So these particular people, Edom, or those who are mixed in with Edom or are predominantly Edom or Edomites, right? Edom, what is being said to them in this particular body of work is a couple different things. One says, you're going to try to make your home in the stars, right? This is getting deep. Think about what different countries have been doing. You already, right? And those who are listening is going to click. At first, you're going to be like, nigga, shut up. You don't know what you're doing. Just simmer down, listen, and do some critical thinking here, right? Put the weed up real quick, put the Henny up real quick, put the mimosas up real quick. Sit down and just tell the kids to be quiet real quick and just tranquila. You know what I'm saying? Chill, tranquilo, chill. So this particular body work says that you're gonna make your home in the sky. You're gonna try to leave this planet. That wasn't nothing symbolic. It was like literal. No, you're gonna try to leave this planet and go to the stars and make your home there. But this particular deity is going to say, "What you doing, bruh?" and bring you right back down. Now, some people may say that that's symbolic to say that you're going to be this high-minded, arrogant, uppity person with your nose in the air, and you're going to be humble. True, it can mean that, but that was no. But in this case, it was actually literal. You're going to make your home or try to make your home in the sky, and you're going to get sent back down. We know that here in the States, in different countries, we dealt with it before, where we had this like a space war, but it was like a space competition, the space race. I think that's what it was called growing up when we were learning about it in school, the space race, where couple different countries were trying to make it to the moon first. Now we're
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to go to Mars. Now we're trying to see how eventually how can we go to all these other different planets here in the solar system. Are there other, watch this, Vash, are there other planets that are similar to Earth within our galaxy itself? You know what I'm saying? Where we're at, that's just not even a smidge, bro. It's like a grain of sand within not the whole universe, but within just our galaxy alone.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Where we're at with our sun and our planets is like a grain of sand and on a beach. I'm sorry, it's like a grain of sand on a beach, right? They're trying to figure out how. Think about all the movies that were made. We didn't make those movies. They created those movies. These were scenarios. You got your Star Treks. I love those movies. You got your Star Wars. I love those movies. You got all these different space films where it's like, how can we leave this planet? Right?
Right.
Now, in this particular book, those things were said before any of those things came to fruition. That's the wild part. So they knew they just don't care. And they want to be able to change the fate. You know what I'm saying? I hate to put it like that, but in anime terms, it's like, oh, it's your fate, it's your destiny. I'm going to change fate. I'm going to fight against fate. It's like, nah, that's your fate if you're on this side of the team. If you're at this point, it's not just because you're white, it's because you're choosing their systems. Now you're on that team. If you're on that team, they got a certain way of doing certain things on that team in order for them to win. The issue is that team is going to lose. So yeah, that's it. They know, they just don't care. And they're trying to fight against fate. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
There's so many things, bro. There's one, and I'm gonna leave this part. I'm gonna leave this right here, so because it's so much loaded, and some people feel some type of way about it. There's a saying that in another body of work in this particular book. It says, "Oh, I'm sorry. Let me backtrack." One says that this deity is going to come back and say, "Yo, since you basically, in a nutshell, since you didn't give my people reparations, now you got to answer to me. Since you didn't want to correct it the right way with these people or with my people, now you have to answer to me." And he says, "How are you gonna pay me back? Since you didn't pay my people back, how you gonna pay me back? What you gonna do?" And I said this in a song. Essentially, he's gonna have a business meeting with him. He's really gonna be like, "Yo, come." Some people are gonna try to like go to war, go to war with him and his people and stuff like that. That's a real thing. But he's gonna have a business meeting with them and say, "This is what you did. How do you plan on paying this back?" And they're not gonna be able to pay it back. And in another body of work, it says that in reference to slavery, because we got to think about what slavery is. What real slavery is, what regular slavery is you owed a debt. Now you're enslaved to me to work it off, and then you're free. What we were in,
Yeah. Yeah.
that joint was perpetual. It had nothing to do with debt, so to speak. But what this deity is saying is that if you remain on this team, on this other side, on this other team with their systems, you're gonna go into slavery. It says that. You don't hear people talking about it because it's gonna freak people out. But it's there, man. People is there, and people won't talk about it. But it's there. I had to tell you offline what I'm talking about. I mean, well, you know what I'm talking about. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you offline where to go specifically
Okay.
to look for those things. But yeah, yeah, man, it's gonna raise some questions. You be like, why are people not? Why are certain groups and belief systems not talking about that? Because it's gonna make people feel uncomfortable. But it's in reference to the system. It'll make us feel uncomfortable because we're part of that system. Whether we realize it or not, we're a lot of us are actually working within the white supremacist system, just like the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? Morpheus said it, and I'm going to butcher his quote, but basically, in paraphrasing, he said, "You got people that will fight for the system. You know what I'm saying? Will defend the system to the very end. So they can look like us. They can not look like us. They can see what the system is doing and still be foolish, but they're fighting on behalf of the system. It's scary, bro. All right. Yeah, man. My bad, bro.
No,
It's
bro.
loaded, man.
No,
You picked the right one today.
no, it is loaded, man. Like it's definitely loaded. So let me let's because I don't want to take up too much of your time. Let's finish up with this
No,
last
no, no. You good, bro.
that question then. How do I say this? So do you see any way that we will get reparations, Black people? Like, do you see it realistically happening? And if you do see it realistically happening, would it be what we expect it to be? And when I say expect it to be, like, I mean it like, obviously it's not going to be 40 acres in a meal because we got to get with the times now. Nobody wants a meal. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, are we going to
Right.
get like
Yeah,
something that's
absolutely.
of equal value? You know what I mean?
Bash, it's a tough question, so I'm gonna try to keep it simple. No, personally, no. But personally, I'm I'm hopeful that they will use common sense and say, you know what, let's fix this. You know what I'm saying? Let us make an attempt to actually correct it the right way. Um, there's a show called The Watchmen with Dr. Manhattan, and the side theme of that show, it was talking about in reference to Black Wall Street, but those descendants within that particular city, the president took it upon himself to say we're going to give that particular area or anybody that's connected to them reparations. Like that was an actual conversation. It was no play on words. It was reparations. They got it in this particular show on HBO, The Watchmen, or The Watchmen. That actually happened. And in reality, and even then, after they got the reparations, white people were still mad. They were still like, "No, we need to kill them, overthrow them, get our power back. I'm tired of acting like I'm nice and I like black people. Nah, man, I want to go back to the old days." And it was looking like modern times. It's a good show. You might want to watch that. It's called Watchmen. It's on HBO. But no, to answer your question, no, I don't think we'll actually get it. Sadly, I don't think so. Not in the way that we think we should actually get it in reference to money. I don't think so. But am I hopeful that it may happen? Yes, I'm hopeful that it may happen, but I don't see it just because of the climate, just because of the things that we're doing
Yeah.
or the country is doing per se. I don't see it. I mean, even Dave Chappelle made a skit about it back in like the early 2000s about us getting our reparations.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I remember that, and even then I thought, yo, that was my first time I actually heard of reparations, and I was like, that would be kind of dope. It was comical because you got some people that are niggas. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna do niggerish stuff. So it's like that's your money. Do you? That's cool. You earn. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, our ancestors literally slaved, and you have the right to do whatever you want with your money. I told my wife that. But they don't know. I was like, it ain't because my wife is Jamaican and Belizean. I was like, it ain't got nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? You can't control, and I meant that when I told her that too. So it ain't got nothing to do with you. You know what I'm saying? But this is what's owed to us. If they choose to trick off their money, people trick off their money now. If they choose to trick off their money then, that's on them. But not everybody's gonna do that. But for me, whenever I saw those scenarios, it was wishful thinking. I was hopeful. But I'm like, man, I don't see it happening. Ultimately, personally, I don't see it happening. One way it could happen, but it's gonna need us to have some sort of financial education, and that's in investing in stock, investing in cryptocurrency, um, pulling money together to get houses and pulling together to buy land, just to buy. Just you know what? They ain't gonna give it to us. All right, we'll work these old rinky-dink jobs, get our money together, buy this land, buy this house, use it to pass it on to the next generation, and pass it on and so forth. Like if they're not gonna willfully give it to us, all right, bet we'll operate the same way we did with the Black Wall Streets and the Rosewoods and do it that way. But the difference is that we have to protect ourselves. But overall, on their end, correcting it, nah. It's almost like we gotta do their job for them. If that were the case, we would probably have to do their
I
job
mean,
for them
that's what we've
first.
been doing for I don't know how long anyway. Doing this on,
Right?
bro.
Doing their job for them. Talking
um,
about we did this for y'all. I'm like, bro, we showed y'all how to wash our butts. Stop it. Like that's historical. Like for real. That's
no,
historical. I know some people may feel some type of way about it. Do some research.
No, man. Like it's when I think about reparations, I think about all the things that I never thought I would be around to see, right? Because I remember the
Yeah,
thought
yeah,
of a black president, and I never thought I'd see that. You know what I'm saying? Um,
right.
and
You're right.
even when Obama was elected, and he was doing like his speech in Chicago or whatnot. I was just hoping and praying, like, God, please don't have me get assassinated. You know what I'm saying? Because like that was my fear.
Exactly. I think all
That
of us thought that.
like that was my fear of
Yeah.
like somewhere along this 4 years, he's not even gonna make it to 4 years. He's going to die. It's going to be something. It's gonna be some type of setup. Like,
Yeah.
oh, he died in his sleep. It was some food poisoning. Blah 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 blah. Like, it's going to happen. And thank God it didn't happen.
Hmm.
Right? Because I'm not here to
Yeah.
argue whether
Yeah.
you agree with his politics or not. Like, I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
the
Right.
optics,
Right. Right. Right.
the optics of seeing somebody looks like me in that position. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Absolutely.
And like
Yeah.
I thought that would just, never ever happen. And then we get last year, and unfortunately it came at the cost of, you know, George Floyd's life, you know what I'm saying, being taken from him,
Yeah.
along with
Yeah.
a plethora
Yeah.
of other black people or people of color, dying due to
Exactly.
police brutality and
Yeah.
everything else. But like, just to
Hmm.
see the light bulbs finally go off in white people's
Yeah.
eyes is just like, oh my God, this is what you guys have been going through this whole time. I thought y'all were just No, no, we have not been
No.
overreacting.
Why would we overreact that?
This has been going on for generations. This has been going on for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to say that things are perfect now, right? But a lot more people of non-color have their eyes been open to that, and that was something that I didn't think that I was going to be able to see. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when I think
Yeah. Yeah.
about
You're right.
reparations, my answer is the same as yours. I don't think we'll get there, and the reason why I say
Yeah.
we won't get there is
Yeah.
because there are a lot of pieces of that machine that need to operate together in order for that to happen, and there are a lot
Yeah.
of people, even people that look just like me and you, even though I know all kinfolk, all
Exactly.
skin folk and kinfolk, I get all of that. But it's
Uh huh.
people that are there that be like, yo, we don't need this, because what reparations is going to do is it's going to cause division. Because now that,
As if division didn't exist already.
I'm saying, like,
Like that's
like
stupid stuff.
like it's gonna cause division, because now we gonna have people thinking like, okay, so what about me? What about the things that my culture, my people have went through being living in America? Like, are we gonna get compensated for that? Like, it's gonna be a rolling effect. And to be honest with you, yeah, everybody, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody that has been done wrong in this country, yeah, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, if we're gonna claim,
Mhm.
not we, but you know what I mean by we, if we're gonna claim that we're the greatest
Yeah.
country in the world, right? Why
Yeah.
not lead by example? So if we're gonna go ahead and like that comes,
Right.
and that comes with owning up. And this is like a whole level of maturity, but like it comes with owning up to your shit, to your shit. It's just like
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
it's
Absolutely.
it's like, I messed up.
Absolutely.
I wasn't
Yep.
right when I did this, that, and the third. You know what I'm gonna do? I know that it
Hmm.
won't fix things, or at least fix things immediately, but I'm gonna take steps in order for us to get to that place. And even if I'm not here in this place, maybe my descendants will be here in this place, and then we can get, things going to where they need to be. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you this
Right.
reparations. Oh, we came and we took the Native Americans' lands. This is your land before ours. Cool. Don't worry about it. We're gonna do this for y'all. We're gonna do this for the Hispanic community. We're gonna do this for the Asian community, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
America, like, even though there are a lot of white people, like, America is filled with a whole bunch of different races, backgrounds, and cultures and everything else like that. And that's one of
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
things that makes us, quote unquote, special. So why not embrace that
Right.
and really push home that, like, yo, this is America. You come here, you work hard, do whatever, such. You know that whole little thing they say, and you make your dreams come true. Cool. That should be
Yeah.
that for everybody. You know what I'm saying? And
It
just
sounds too much
because
like right though.
it sounds exactly too much like right, but just because one ascends doesn't mean that it takes from you. And I think that's the biggest thing with like racism and bigotry and everything else. Is like they see it as them losing power. And it's just like, to a certain
Well,
extent, yeah. But I mean, like, if you give this black person some money and they pull themselves up and they lift their family up with them, their neighborhood and whatnot, and they're living better, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That's still not stopping you from living in your multi-million-dollar mansion in Panama City or whatever the hell it
right.
is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not hurting you.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. What I think, Vash, is that, like I said, these people know, but they're trying to convince us that our way of thinking or the way that we're looking at it is wrong. It's like, but you know that we're right. Like you actually know it, but you're trying to convince us and low key convince yourself that we're wrong. But behind closed doors, you're like, yeah, I know we did this, I know we did that, but I don't want them to combat it. I don't want them, you know what I'm saying? Like, truth be told, like, but what I think is the reason why they're like that because they saw or they read about what happened when other things were stolen from other people. When they took it from other people, those people lost things that they can't get back. And if I give it back to you, that means that I'm gonna lose whatever I have. It's like in some cases, maybe. In other cases, no. You know what I'm saying? You may lose that piece of land, but that's not gonna stop you from being a wealthy person. You lost that piece of land. Now, if for some odd reason you lost all your land to all these different groups of people, well, that's a personal problem. You might might need to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? Because hey, this person overreached. You know what I'm saying? Like we playing basketball. They overstepped their boundaries and doing all this stuff, and now you gotta pay it back. And maybe they're looking at it like that too. Like they have to pay it all back. I gotta pay all of it back. Some people may be afraid of that. So right, some people may
Bro,
they can still be wealthy, but then other people may be like, I may lose it all.
son,
I
like
don't care either way.
that whole money thing, like a whole lot of money like that don't mean nothing to me. Because we building prisons,
Mm,
we spending a bunch of money to the army and everything else. Which I'm not saying that they don't need the money, because they need the money. We need to be protected, right? I get all of that.
yeah,
But the amount of money in which they give to all of that versus what they give to
it's ridiculous.
education, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
on top of
yeah,
that, we are already in debt. And as America, like we're in debt, like we're in the trillions. That
right,
money is never going to get
yeah.
paid back. So I like when people come up to me like, well, that's gonna cost this much, bro. I don't care. We're already in debt. Like,
Nigga, we already broke.
yeah, like the most
We
like
already broke.
if
Stop.
you know what I'm saying? So like that whole money situation, bro, like it don't, but that's a whole nother thing, man. Listen,
Yeah.
that's a whole nother hole to go down. That's a whole nother rabbit hole. But listen, bro, like
Yeah.
I appreciate you for coming on, bro. This has been good.
Yes, sir.
It has been a real good
Yeah,
conversation.
definitely.
I wish Darius was here because man, y'all two would click, bro. Y'all two would just man,
Yes.
y'all would, bro. We definitely gotta do this again, bro. Um,
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. And I don't mind inviting you guys onto my podcast too, so we can do something as well.
bro, you just
So
let me know.
just whenever you guys are available, let me I bet.
You just let me
Bet.
know. You know what I'm
Bet.
saying, and we'll set it up, bro. We'll set it up.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna be good. Yeah, man. This is like I said, man, I appreciate it. This was cool. It's rare for me to get on somebody else's like platform and just saying share or be asked questions, so it's rare. But I'm humble. I appreciate it. It says a lot on your end as well and your view towards me. So Bash, I appreciate it. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate what you guys are doing. and we family, man. You know what I'm saying?
For
We
sure.
family. We got to build each other up. Yes,
Exactly.
sir. Yes, sir, man. So
Exactly.
thank you. Thank
Exactly,
you.
good sir. Before I end it, is there any? Well, let us know how we can find you first of all, and if there's anything that you're
Okay,
working on,
yeah.
any projects, anything. Go ahead, bro. The floor is yours.
All right, kids. So get your pen and your pad or your phone ready or whatever. But you can find me on like all social media sites, except for TikTok. But you can type that in. But at Jarard Kenneth, you spell my name Jarard Kenneth. You can Google me anywhere and find me that way. As far as my podcast, they're supposed to be different podcasts. It's the way it's spelled. It's the way it sounds. You spell it that way. The Annie Hoshi podcast that I'm one of the like one of five hosts on the show. It's spelled ANIHOSHI podcast. Annie Hoshi podcast. So check that out. Um, that's pretty much it. I don't think I have anything. Oh, I do have a book. I forgot to say that. It's a book called "Why Love We're Created for Relationships." So it's the interesting read. You're trying to figure out your life, trying to figure out why am I dealing with the stuff I'm dealing with. It helps you along with examining yourself and preparing yourself mentally to be in a healthy relationship. So yeah, check that out. But yeah, that is it.
All right, bro.
That's all I got,
Listen,
man.
I definitely got to check that out. I did not know that
Yes,
you
sir.
were an author, bro. I knew you was into the music stuff. But I didn't know that you was an author as well, bro. Man of many talents, man.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it. I started off writing stuff on Facebook, and then people were like, "Oh, you should write a book." I don't want to write a book, and when I got out of one particular relationship, I decided to start writing. So went ahead and did
Mm,
that, man. But
awesome, bro.
yeah, yeah, man.
Awesome, awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Reset the Vibe podcast. You can find us on Apple, Spotify, Google, pretty much almost everywhere you get your podcast. Obviously, you can find us on YouTube. If you're watching this right now, Reset the Vibe. Go ahead, check that out. Next week, Darius will be here, and we'll have a guest
They
or two, maybe. I don't know. You know what the deal is already. But yeah, as
right.
always, ladies and gentlemen, please take care of one another. Um, be patient and kind with one another. You know what I'm saying? As always, love.